In today's video, we got to talk about insulin resistance, guys. All right, here is the 5 foods, maybe 6, that you need to avoid if you want to cure your insulin resistance, okay? So a little bit about me. I had insulin resistance probably like before COVID, during COVID, and basically I made another video about this where I was in a calorie deficit. I was eating like 1,700 calories, tracking my macros. My carbs were super low, right? Breakfast would be, I would skip breakfast, or I would have like 3 eggs with cheese and avocado, like these keto people are saying. And then I ended up getting insulin resistance. So there's another video about that. But this one, I want to talk about the 5 foods that you need to avoid. Like, avoid these foods like the plague, all right? First one, coffee. By far, this one is literally the worst one. No matter what you hear online about people saying bulletproof coffee for insulin resistance, or this kind of cream, or artificial sugar, blah, 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 like just avoid the coffee at all costs. Just drink only water for now. Because basically what's happening is like, when you're insulin resistant, your cell is not functioning right. It's like, it's damaged. And what you're doing is, the coffee is just like it's taking the damaged cell that's already damaged, and then you're like shocking your cell with this coffee. Because I learned this firsthand. When I had insulin resistance, like, I would drink the coffee and then I would instantly start to get like shaky. And it wasn't like the kind of shaky that people talk about because they have too much caffeine. It was like this weird kind of like body shake, like electrical thing going on. And every time I would do this, and then it would last forever. And then like halfway through then I would be getting lightheaded later on that day, because it's like insulin's high, causes me to get lightheaded, and all this other like things are going on, panic attacks. So avoid the coffee. Number 2, this one's gonna be funny, the vegetables. All right, here's what happens. The vegetables, with insulin resistance, what I noticed is what was happening was I was getting this like endless hunger would like kind of like bubble up in my stomach, or like not really in my stomach, but like my whole body would kind of feel hollow. And then it was like this, like, I could not fight this off. It was like I had to eat right then. And it was like, I started reading about this, and this is kind of what caught me and made me realize what was going on. These symptoms of insulin resistance, like the body shaking and endless hunger, sometimes that would start to go away, and then I would eat the vegetables, and it would make it worse. I could literally feel the inside of my body like opening back up. So, and like, for instance, if I ate a small piece of meat or a small portion of like beans, this wouldn't happen. So, number 2, cut the vegetables out. Just for now, until you can fix your insulin resistance, and then you can go back. But number 3 is the sugar, clearly, right? Like, insulin resistance is directly related to sugar, and a lot of the information online is about too much sugar causing insulin resistance. And it's like, yeah, that's one way to get insulin resistance, but like literally in my case, I was just eating I would do the fasting, and then it was like, it would shut off my stomach, so I would get a small portion, and then I would try to like cram another meal in again after that. And it just like, it's like your body has like a big meal reflex, and it's like that would happen. And then it was like the big meal reflexes were too close together. And then on top of that, I was drinking bubbly water, which is crazy, but this actually caused it. Like, when I had insulin resistance, the bubbly water would kind of like upset my symptoms a little bit too. So it was like all this was like combined, and then eventually like I just ended up looking like this after a while. And once I caught it though, I fixed it, all right? And then everything went back to normal. So that's number 3, is the sugar. Number 4, all right, this is gonna be kind of weird too, is the dairy. So if you read The 4 Hour Body by Tim Ferriss, he talks about this. He talks about the dairy has a high insulin response to your body. And he's right, because what I noticed was when I had insulin resistance, the dairy would like, I would eat it and it was kind of like one of those like trigger foods where you feel like you can't stop eating it. And so it's like your body is like just sponging it in. It's like you're a sponge, and then it's just soaking in this stuff. And it's just like, it never went well when I had insulin resistance, was the dairy. So that's number 4, is the dairy. And then the last one, there's a couple where you could say, right, okay, energy drinks are going to go into the same category, right? Don't drink energy drinks. Literally, this might be the number 1. But it's like, this shouldn't be rocket science. It's like all these chemicals on top of the caffeine. Just, it's the same thing. It shocks your cell, and just like, then you're just going to get hungry and hungrier and hungrier, and you're going to keep getting hungry. It's like, because that's literally what insulin resistance does, is it kind of gives you like Prader-Willi syndrome, is it like the way that I felt it was, it's like, you know, or like these other people online, it's like you eat a meal and then you still kind of feel like somewhat hungry, or like there's something going on. And it's like, yeah, unless you're like dieting hard as shit and, you know, you're in a huge deficit, then you shouldn't be hungry like that. So pay attention to your hunger signals. And then the last one, honestly, this is kind of like a bonus one that I noticed, is eggs, right? Like I started eating eggs, and once I started, like I basically just switched to only meat, and then slow carbs, beans, potatoes, rice, and small portions of everything. Don't eat a big, massive meal of these foods, because like it's going to cause a big hormonal response, and you're going to be right back to where you started. So the way to cure it is to avoid all these things that I said, and then do it in small portions every 3 hours, and I guarantee you that you will fix your insulin resistance. Because the problem is it's like causes of insulin resistance: too much sugar, right? Sedentary, eating too frequently, right? Like a lot of overweight people are just like eating all the time, and like then you can literally end up just gaining weight even if you're not eating enough, or at the least your metabolism will slow down. So that's all I got today. Avoid these foods. I want to help everyone. Like literally, this was not online. Like I did not know why. Like I was lean, and then I got fat, but I didn't, my calorie, and like it wasn't like I was going and getting 4 honey buns from the gas station every morning for breakfast. It was just like the hormones change, and then it's like hormones are everything, and then I just started gaining weight, and I wasn't, and like, I don't know how, but so it's like now I want to put this recipe, this information online to help everybody, all right? So, till the next time, stay hard.